Troubleshooting is a really important part of any type of advanced course. In this section, let's talk a little bit about data damage. One of the most important aspects is to determine whether or not your file is actually damaged. Let's start with a few tips in this arena. First, if you think that corruption is a problem, let's try to determine if it's just on your machine or in the whole area. If you are in a network environment, I'd like you to switch from login as a multi-user environment to a single-user environment. In a single-user environment, find out if the error still exists. If it does not, then you know that it has something to do with the connection. In this case, the first reaction I would have is to bring down your network, turn off everyone's machines, and then bring the machines back up again. Now keep in mind on a network that it's really important to do your preventive maintenance. If, for instance, you are not running certain aspects such as scan disk or defrag and cleanup activities, this could be a culprit. Now we're not going to go into those details in this class, but do keep in mind preventive maintenance is absolutely necessary whether you're on a standalone machine or in a network environment. Now let's say that that wasn't the issue. I'm having the same problem in a single user. Then what I'd like you to do is log in as a different user. Again, we're trying to streamline the problem and see where it comes in. If it's still an issue, try going to another machine, log on another machine and see if the reaction is the same. If, no matter what you do, different user, different machine, single user, multi-user, you're still having the same problem, then we'll want to go to verification and rebuilding of the data. We'll talk about that in our next movie. If you find that it works on one machine and not on another, there's some simple things that we can do to correct this. The first is resorting your lists. Now this sounds like it wouldn't do much in the arena of troubleshooting, but it really does. Let's go ahead and go back into QuickBooks. When we want to resort a list, we simply go to the word list and open it up. In this case, I'm taking the item list. On the bottom, when I go to the activity menu, you'll notice that it allows us to actually receive our items, build assemblies, and change our item prices. Many times when we're doing quite a few of these different areas, it gets a little confused inside of QuickBooks. So what we're going to do is go to our item list and just resort that list. When I hit resort, it wants to know if you want to put it back in its original order. We're simply going to say OK. Now if you've changed it around to suit your own individual needs, you'll have to regroup it, but this clears all the data and removes a lot of mistakes that can happen in our QuickBooks file itself. You may want to consider doing that from time to time in the different lists as you go in and out of them. Now another area that we can try is actually on our reporting system. Sometimes what happens when we go in and we run a report, very often we'll go in to modify that report and we'll turn on filters. It could be possible that you're looking at something on the screen that has a filter enabled and you're just not aware of it. In this case, what you'll want to do is go into modification, go into filters, and I want you to check the current filter choices. If you are seeing any unusual items in here, just go ahead and remove that filter. When you remove the filter and you see your report on the menu, make sure that it comes up clear. Very often, these two simple steps, such as resorting your list and changing the modification of the report, will clear off a lot of errors in the background. If you've done that and you still have difficulty, then we need to go into verification and rebuilding of data. Let's talk about that in depth in our next movie.